We've gone through 8 of the 9 parts of speech, so that means there's only one left. And this last one is the simplest and, in a way, the funniest. An interjection expresses a strong emotion and is not grammatically connected to the rest of the sentence. In other words, an interjection is a word that just kind of hangs out there by itself. Doesn't happen in writing very often, happens a little more often in speech, but it isn't much of a grammatical problem. Here are some examples of interjections. Gosh, yikes, ouch, hooray, or Homer Simpson's favorite, doh. Those are interjections. And since they're not connected grammatically to the rest of the sentence, you don't need to know much about them. Recognizing parts of speech is, for some students, a little tricky. Why is it important to be able to recognize parts of speech in a sentence? It's because in order to apply the rules of proper grammar, you need to know what kind of words you're dealing with, because there are particular rules that apply to the use of verbs, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and so on. We've already talked a bit about some of those rules, and in all the other programs that are part of this series, more of those rules and their applications will be explained. So being able to recognize parts of speech in the sentences that you write is rather important. Here are a couple of tips about how to recognize parts of speech in sentences that you're writing. First, the easiest thing to find is usually the main verb. So look for the verb that appears in the sentence when you're trying to identify parts of speech in your sentences. Then look for the subject of the verb, that is, the person, place, thing, or idea which does the action of the verb, or which the state of being of the verb refers to. That subject will be a noun or a pronoun. Once you've identified the verb and the noun or pronoun which is the subject of the verb, you can then begin to fill in the rest of the sentence. You can identify the modifying words, adjectives, articles, and adverbs. You can identify the connecting words, the conjunctions and prepositions. And little by little, you can fill out all the rest of the sentence and understand how it all works together. So begin by identifying the verb, then look for the subject of the verb, and gradually fill in the other parts of the sentence. That's usually the easiest way to understand the structure of a sentence. And remember, too, that the same word may be used as more than one part of speech. We've already seen a couple of examples, but let me leave you with one more illustration of this important fact. So you can't tell, remember, a word's part of speech just by looking at it in isolation. You need to look at how it's being used in the sentence. Take a word like surprise. A word like surprise can be used as more than one part of speech. In this sentence, Ben surprised Nancy with a party on her birthday. The word surprised is being used as a verb. It describes the action that Ben took, what he did in the sentence. How about in this sentence? It was a surprise party. Here, surprise is being used as an adjective. It modifies or gives more information about the noun party. It tells what kind of party, a surprise party. How about in this sentence? That was quite a surprise. Here, surprise is being used as a noun. It's a thing. The party is being described as a certain type of thing, namely a surprise. So, in these 3 sentences, the word surprise is being used first as a verb, then as an adjective, then as a noun. This is a very common phenomenon in the English language, the same word being adapted to serve several different purposes. So always look carefully at the word in the context of the sentence before you decide what part of speech it is. In your study guide, we have an exercise designed to test and to let you practice your ability to recognize parts of speech.